Oh my god, Chris said he was not attracted to Paige on Married at First Sight. This guy is a freaking jerk. You guys, Married at First Sight was on not so long ago, and oh my god, we gotta see so much drama and so much stuff that I'm going to talk about in just a smidge of a second. But first, we need to talk about Paige and mainly Chris. Oh my god, I feel bad for Paige. So we all know the deal. They got married, we gotta see the weddings, then we gotta see the night after. And let me just summarize real quick. None of the couples really took that next step in their marriage, if you know what I mean, except Paige and Chris, which I find bizarre because the entire time at the wedding, Chris was asking Paige all these weird, kind of just disgusting, not disgusting, but they were just like questions that were a little too personal, TMI kind of, for the first time you're meeting someone. They were way too personal, bedroom kind of questions, and I thought that totally 100% turned off Paige. But one thing apparently led to another, and Paige said that Chris and Paige not only shared a moment one time, but twice. And I was like, wow, so I guess, they did a 180, things turned around, and now they're, sunshine and rainbows. However, the next morning, Chris agreed to go downstairs to get some menus for breakfast, and about 2 hours later, the guy still never showed back up. He left, he disappeared, he just went completely ghost and vanished away, and Paige, after an hour or so was like, what happened to the guy? So finally, like an hour and a half, it was like 2.5 hours later, Chris came back and was like, hey, first off, the guy didn't even apologize. He just came back like he was gone for like 3 seconds. And he came back and just said, hey, what's up? And then she was like, do you have any explaining? Like, what just happened? And he goes, well, honestly, I had a panic attack. I'm kind of freaking out. And so what does Paige do? Freaking her heart is ginormous. She goes up to the guy. She's being all sincere and nice. And she goes, what is wrong? Like, we're married. Talk to me. What is going on? And this guy goes, you know what? After we did a little something, I'm starting to kind of realize that I am not attracted to you. And that is when, if I was Paige, I'd walk up to him and say, okay, and just go boom, and just go, and just give him a couple of these and say, okay, Married at First Sight people, I'm leaving, I'm done with this experiment, you can file my divorce, you can send me the paperwork in the mail, I am done. And that's what she should have done. I don't know if she maybe just can't tap out this early, but I was just like, oh my god, you actually said that, which it's one thing to say it, but to share a moment with someone, not once, but 2 separate times, twice. After the first one, if you are not attracted to someone, you want to just share a moment with them just because, hey, why not? Okay, after the first one, you would know, oh yeah, I shouldn't have done that. But twice, I mean, you have to be into something or just wanting to, I don't even know, want to just hook up or whatever, to do it 2 times and then turn around and say, I'm not physically attracted to you. Then why did you do it? So Paige was devastated. She was upset. She was mad. And what was Chris doing? Chris was sitting there in the corner crying. I don't know why, but he was sitting there crying because he's so devastated and hurt. And the worst thing was, Paige and Chris both had to go meet up with the other person's, family. And of course, Chris, him being the genius that he is, he didn't even do it. So we did not see him meet up with Paige's family. So I'm taking it that he never did because he was having this meltdown, but Paige did. Now, if I was Paige, I probably wouldn't have, but she wanted to get some insight, and so she went to his mom, dad, and aunt and just said, hey, this is what happened. She was very upfront and said, we shared a moment twice, and one thing led to another. We are married, and the next day he said that he's not physically attracted to me. The dad likes Paige. The aunt likes Paige. The mom, not even like, they all freaking love her inside and out. They know she's gorgeous. They know she's smart. And they were just like, wait, what? Because at first she just said that, he said he wasn't attracted. And they were like, oh, that's kind of weird. But then she goes, and we also shared a moment 2 separate times. And they were like, oh, no, Chris, you crossed that line. He's just trying to hit it and quit it, and that is not cool. So yeah, the dad, I will say, was kind of trying to balance on both sides. And it is his son. He does have to kind of stand up for him. But still, if I was that dad, I would say, Chris, man, you need to get put in your place because you are wrong, and that is not cool. And if I was Paige, I would have ran. But yeah, she's like still trying to kind of work it out. And believe it or not, we got to see all the couples go on their honeymoons to Las Vegas, my favorite town in the whole world. And believe it or not, Chris and Paige are now back on good terms. So yeah, a lot of stuff going around, but a lot of stuff with Paige and Chris. Like I said, we got to see her talk to his family, and then after, he talked to the family went to go talk to Chris because they were like, what is going on? And then after, the dad and everyone explained what Paige told them, he was just like, oh my god, she told you guys, which I don't blame her. Now some of you guys might say that was TMI. She shouldn't have talked about that kind of topic with the family, but I don't blame her because it went bang, 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 boom. It all happened, one thing after another. It's like, well, it's a one thing, next thing you know, they're doing this and they're doing that, and then the next thing you know, she's sitting down talking to the family. I don't blame her to bring it up. She's not going to go there and say, hey, it's all sunshine and rainbows, I'm happy, when that's clearly not the case. So I do not blame her one bit. But Chris, when he found out that she was talking to her family about, or talking to his family about her bedroom life with him, he went to her and said, hey, where I grew up in Chicago, we have a code, and that code is you don't talk about that kind of stuff with their family. And I'm like, number one, okay, great, you grew up in Chicago. We're in Atlanta, Georgia. And number two, what code are you talking about? So I'm done. I'm over it. But long story short, like I said, once they got to the honeymoon, it was a little bit better. And that is because Chris kind of tried to fold and forge his way into this fake, stupid apology. I thought it was BS, did not think it was real whatsoever, but he kind of sort of said he's sorry, kind of. Not even really. He basically just said, I'm smooth, I'm cool, I was being dumb. That was basically it. And Paige, I think, at this point has a ginormously big crush on him. I don't know why, but I feel like she kind of does, and I feel like that's why she's still kind of hanging around. But so Paige and Chris, it was god-awful. I feel bad for her, and I think there's just a smidge of a possibility that they stay together because we got to see Paige on the show before Married at First Sight. I think it's called, like, Unfiltered, and she was on this episode, and she was kind of re-watching some of her clips back, and oh my god, she looked so mad when she was re-watching Chris. So I think that it's done. I do not think she's going to stay with him, and I would not even be shocked if they ended a little bit earlier than decision day. But hey, on a brighter note, we got to see Vincent and Brianna, and they are sunshine and rainbows. They're happy. They're doing amazing. Actually, Vincent, if he found out that his grandma had a heart attack, I'm sorry, my heart, I feel bad for the guy. It is an unfortunate situation. However, on the bright side, it did look like him and Brianna were kind of getting closer because of it. Basically, what happened was they had the wedding day, they had the night after the wedding, they didn't do anything. They kind of just talked, cuddled, that was about it. And I think that's probably a good thing. Honestly, if I was in their shoes, I probably would not, seal the deal on my marriage that night. First night, a little too soon, talk, get to know each other, and that's exactly what they did, and they're still just really hitting it off. The next day, they both met with each other's families, and honestly, Vincent, he was pretty good with his family, Brianna was pretty good with his, there was no big red flags. Vincent's family did bring up that Vincent can have a little bit of a temper. I didn't think anything much of it. Brianna brought it up. I don't think there's anything there. I really don't think that's a big deal whatsoever. She is really into him, and he's all into her. Then, like I said, they went to Vegas, my favorite town in the whole freaking world, and then that is when he sadly did get the news about his grandma having a heart attack, which that sucks. It sounds like she's not doing great, and there's even a possibility that he might have to leave the honeymoon early and go to see his grandma because she might not make it much longer, which that sucks. It's sad, but like I said earlier, if you look at the bright side of it, it does go to show, Brianna was there for him. She was understanding, and if you are not understanding that situation, that'd be like, okay, I'm done with you anyway, but she was understanding, she was cool, she got it. She was there for him, she's giving him a hug, she was being sweet and nice, and he even kind of said it, she's got my back. So I think, if anything, that will just probably bring them closer. I hope to God the grandma can pull through and make it, but I have no idea. It does look like, though, that they're going to stay at the honeymoon for some time, so hopefully they can just, she'll make it, they can stay through the honeymoon, and then that is that. But Vincent and Brianna, on a brighter note than Chris and Paige, they're doing very, very, very well. And now on for another dull, boring, just god-awful couple. Now, this couple is different than Chris and Paige. Still god-awful, but they are different because now I want to talk about Jacob and Haley. They are debatably one of the most awkward, boring, dull, monotone couples I have ever seen in my entire freaking life. And that mainly, I hate to say it, but it mainly just goes back to Jacob because this guy, oh my god, he is so freaking boring. And this is why I was saying from the start, Jacob needs to get matched or partnered with a dork, with a nerd. That's not Haley. Haley is a freaking go-getter, salesy, loud, proud, confident. She's not a nerd, and Jacob is a nerd. That's fantastic. Match the guy with a dork. Why did you match him with Haley? So they got married. It was awkward. It was cringy. The next day, he met with her family. She met with his family. That was even more awkward. His family's very quiet, shy, and then her family's just kind of more normal. I hate to say that, but that's kind of the case. And it's like awkward, 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 very awkward. Then we got to see them pack up for Vegas, and once again, awkward, because Jacob is a complete 80s nerd. I don't know why they couldn't find someone that maybe, you know, likes the 1980s more. I mean, it's like, this girl couldn't give a crap about the 1980s, and this guy, the only thing he talks about is his house, his freaking, you know, spa of a house, and his diet, and the 1980s. So, I mean, it's just like, oh my god, they have nothing in common. I think physically she's open to him, but it's like his personality, oh my god, he is so freaking dull. At least, hey, it appears that way on the show, but when they went to Vegas, it was awkward. The only saving grace they have, which is very slim, but the only shot they have is, I will say, once they got to Vegas, one thing led to another. They started talking, doing a little, you know, a little something, something. I don't think it's gonna, you know, progress to much of anything, but there was a little bit of, you know, activity going on with the two of them. Now, like I said, it probably isn't much more than just a little bit of cuddles, talk, that's about it, but maybe that could possibly help. If she could just accept the guy as being a bit nerdier and just he's a very quiet guy, it might work. But for how picky she is, and I think she just wants more of a outgoing kind of a guy, it ain't gonna freaking work. But Jacob, Haley, very awkward, very awkward. We also got to see Eric and Virginia. They are the shock of the season. I thought for sure she was going to be literally disgusted by him. Not that he's that ugly or anything, but he looked old to me. And the more we see Eric, the more I'm starting to kind of like him. Now, it's not all amazing with those two, though, let me say, because we did get to see Eric's mom finally talk to Virginia, and oh my god, at least on the show, it was awkward. Now, maybe behind cameras, it wasn't as awkward and weird, but I feel like the mom was like, oh my god, this Virginia girl acts like she's like 19 years old, and Eric is what, like 33, 32 or something? He's older, and he's very mature. He's kind of a goof, but he's pretty mature, and so I think the mom was like, oh my god, who did he get matched with? And the mom didn't even want Eric to do it from the first place. So I think it was awkward. It was kind of timid. I like Virginia, and she is super into Eric, which that just like, I cannot believe it. Because, like I said, I feel like she was gonna just be, I'm just so shocked. I never would have ever in a billion years ever thought that she'd be into him. And of course, he's super into her because she's cute. She's a catch. But oh my gosh, she's like all into him. So that was very shocking. But yeah, the mom and her, it was kind of awkward. And the million-dollar question was, from the mom to Virginia was, hey, do you ever want to have kids? And if so, when? And Virginia was like, I don't know if I'm 50-50, but the way she was describing the 50-50 was kind of like, okay, I'll do whatever, kind of 50-50 once the time comes. Not now, probably not in a couple years, but once the time comes, I think she's about down for anything, to be completely honest. But she told the mom 50-50. She was not lying. She was not beating around the bush. That's what she said. And the mom, if you don't already know, she wants grandbabies. So she was kind of like, ooh, that's kind of weird. And she was kind of uncomfortable, kind of mad, kind of just, yeah, it was a weird vibe with the mom and Virginia. But Eric and Virginia, they're doing amazing. They're joking, they're laughing, they're talking. It is very shocking. But the thing I will say about them that's kind of negative is Virginia's drinking. That is not good. That is definitely kind of going to be an issue, I think, because Eric is just more mellow, more mature, more kind of just, he'll have a little something, like he'll have, you know, one drink like this and just go like this, and that's it. He won't party. She's screaming, woohoo, she's partying like crazy. That is not going to work. But, so that's an issue, and then I do think possibly his work schedule might become an issue too, maybe. But it's mainly just the drinking and the partying, and I really think that's going to kind of, you know, get brought up a few times. We got to see in a preview that there's been a little bit of fighting, a little bit of awkwardness, a little bit of weirdness between those two because of all the partying. But besides the partying stuff, they're doing amazing, which is very shocking. And last but not least is Clara and Ryan, and they're kind of exactly where I thought they were going to be. They're not doing bad, they're not doing good, they're just in this weird middle kind of a road, because here's the deal. I feel like either of them don't want to fight, and it actually kind of got brought up, you know, weirdly enough, but they don't want to fight with each other, I think. Ryan seems very go with the flow. Clara seems not so much go with the flow, but I also think she's really into Ryan, and I think she's like, I don't want to ruin this, I don't want to do anything wrong, so she's kind of being all like a yes man, he's being a yes man, and it's just like, ooh, this is kind of weird. So the deal is, though, Ryan's parents are like pastors or something in the religious sector of things. They're very religious, which is fantastic. So is Ryan. That's fine. Who cares? Either way. but Clara is not so much. She grew up in the religion, and then I think she kind of got sick and tired of it. Big deal, who cares? But now it's kind of like, ooh, Ryan is kind of more into the religion, she's not. It's kind of this elephant in the room, and I think that's going to bring up some issues. Now, I don't know how that's going to play out because, like, even Clara said it. If they do ever have kids, she wants them to be able to, you know, choose their own religion, which is fantastic. But Ryan wants them to be in his own religion. So it was the same thing, great. But I don't know if that's really going to mesh and work. So they're going to definitely have some issues. But Ryan and Clara, oh my God, they're doing okay. Same thing with them, though. They did not ever, you know, move the relationship to the next step. But I guarantee you guys, they're into each other. And at some point pretty soon, I bet they'll probably take the next step in their relationship. So, oh my God, Married at First Sight, we have so much drama, so much stuff. I am just at a loss of words. I mean, the majority of the drama was with Paige and Chris. It seems like they're going to be, honestly, I think they're going to be a big source of drama every single episode because we already saw in the previews that it's Chris is the one that has a baby with a different woman before going on the show. So it's like, the drama is not done with those two, and that is for sure. And yeah, I mean, I'm just happy. It's a good season so far. I'm kind of a little bit shocked that Chris got on the show, to be honest, and I'm kind of shocked that Jacob and Haley got matched because, oh, why would you put someone with such a dull personality? And nothing against Jacob. Jacob seems very nice, very honest, very genuine, but why would you put someone so dull on the show? But I have no complaints with Ryan and Clara, no complaints with Vincent and Brianna. I have no complaints with Paige, Chris as a whole. I mean, Paige, honestly, my complaint with Paige is she's too nice. They should have just get her with a freaking nice guy. And I feel like Pastor Cal, you know, you would have thought he would have seen through him. And you know, I don't know how long they even talk and what the actual, I don't know. Maybe they just kind of see, you know, they see Chris, they go, okay, yeah, he's a business owner, whatever that even means. He's an entrepreneur, whatever the heck that means. And it's like, they kind of think maybe he'd match with Paige, but you know, I guess you never really know till you know. But man, this guy is awful. And I wish they would have got her a better match. And that is why I wish that there should be a part 2 of this show where they do, you know, the makeup thing, where if you are single and you are hot and cute and nice and sweet like Paige and a bunch of other people, it's always the ladies that get screwed, I feel like. But anyway, if you're a good catch, they should have a part 2 of this show where they say, hey, now we can go match you with someone else that's actually nice and normal and a good fit for you, not like Chris. So yeah, my God, I'm just sick and tired. I don't know what to expect, but it looks like it's going to be a huge downward spiral with Chris and Paige. And the rest of the Married at First Sight crew, I think there's actually going to be some pretty good couples in here, I believe. Well, you guys, Married at First Sight, hope you enjoyed this video. If you are new to this channel, please do me a favor, hit that like button, hit the comments below, hit the subscribe button, and y'all better stay tuned for many more videos.